So how do birds get their colors? Buckle up, this is going to be a longer one. There are two main ways birds get their colors, and that's pigments and feather structure. Let's start with pigments. First pigment is melanin. Melanin is what gives birds the black, brown, gray colors. The more melanin you have, the darker your feather. Common birds that use melanin are things like owls and crows. And there's two types of melanin. There's eumelanin, which is going to give you those standard black, brown, and gray colors, and there's pheomelanin, which is going to give you kind of like a earthy, reddish-brown, dirty yellow type colors. Now, the pigment of melanin is produced inside the bird's body by these cells called melanosomes. Sometimes birds can be born with a deficiency where they don't produce as much melanin as other birds. That is why some birds that are typically dark colored can be born more white, called leuconistic, like this crow. Okay, so that's melanin. Now let's talk about carotenoids. Carotenoids are pigments that are usually found in berries and seeds and algae. And they are what give birds the colors of red, orange, yellow, and pink. Birds can only get those colors from their diets. So flamingos are actually born white, but the invertebrates they eat have the carotenoid pigments that turn their feathers pink. And sometimes during breeding season, flamingos tend not to eat as much because they're caring for their babies. When this happens, they can go back to being white. So melanin is produced in the bird's body, and carotenoids are all from diet. Now we'll circle back to pigments at the end, but right now let's talk about feather structures. So this is one that actually kind of amazes people, but there's no such thing as a blue bird. Blue birds have dark feathers, so they get their coloration from pigments, but the reason why they're blue is because of physics. Blue birds have protein structures in their feathers that cause like a scattering blue light effect when it comes in contact with light. This is why they appear blue, but if you were to pick up a blue feather and hold it to a light source like the sun or a lamp, it will turn brown. There are no birds with blue pigments on the planet, and so there is no such thing as a blue bird. Now, it's the same thing with green birds. Green is a structural color. The birds that have green feathers, they get their colors from their diet, carotenoids that turn their feathers yellow, but they have the same structures that cause the scattering blue light effect, like in bluebirds. So when their yellow feathers come in contact with the light, blue and yellow make green. Now we have iridescent birds where their feathers kind of act like a prism with a scattering of all different kinds of colors. This is why a hummingbird's throat can be a variety of colors depending what angle you're looking at it next to light. This is also how starlings get their color varieties.